Hello everyone and welcome to the channel. I'm Emmanuel, I'm an airline pilot, and today let's have a look at the latest update for the ATR 72 and 42 series and their brand new included expansion of the ATR Highline series, which is kinda the private jet version of the ATR. Now, what's new in the update and what's new overall in this brand new version we'll have a look at in a few moments. Let's start with the most important thing first, and that is included SIMBRIEF integration in both the EFB and the, well, FMS import through the EFB. But let's start by looking into the changelog, which we can find over here. And as we can see, there is quite a lot of stuff in there. The new version is 1.0.20, and we've got the Highline liveries and the interior models, which I'm going to show you in a few moments. And then we've got added import for SIMBRIEF. The EFB can now be used for loading the aircraft. I'll show you what that looks like in a few moments. So we can see there is quite a bit of stuff there. Slowed down the ES mode pitch change, something that I complained about quite a bit and that I'm very happy to see. Okay, so loads of stuff in there. I'm not going to read it all out to you. I'm sure you can read yourself, and I am going to include the link to the changelog in the video description below. One more thing that is interesting is down here, fixed vertical flight path arming and activation. That's basically the mode that is used for non-precision approaches, but I'm going to cover those in a special dedicated video. For today, what we're going to do is we will take our ATR out for a flight from Antwerp in Belgium towards the famous London City Airport to see how it's going to perform into there. Now, London City Airport is actually frequently visited by ATR aircraft, and that's going to make it quite interesting to see how this one's going to perform. Also, for probably the very first time on this channel, we're actually flying the ATR 42 version of the aircraft and not the 72. So, something new as well. Okay, cool. Let's head right into the plane. And the first thing you're going to notice is how the cabin has changed with the Highline series. So, let's go ahead and get ourselves into our plane. Now, I'm sure you're going to recognize that one, which is the cabin crew station. But now let's go forward a little bit and have a look into the cabin. We've now got a 1-to-1 business class seat arrangement in here. I will have a close look at this as we progress through the flight when we reach cruising altitude. But for now, just be assured this is looking marvelous. But you will get more details as we get into the cruise later on. For now, let's head forward into the cockpit and start powering our airplane up. Alright, we'll be flying from the captain's seat today. Now, the first thing I notice when I come in here is that the control column is actually slightly deflected to one side. I wonder why that is. Can we release that? Yeah, that looks better. Okay. Not sure what caused that, but that's why we're doing those interior inspections, isn't it? Okay, so power levers ground idle, condition levers off, flaps up, landing gear lever down, and the wipers are off. So let's go ahead and power it up. Battery on. Okay, we got power and external power on. Now this is going to take a while to power up, so in the meantime, let's have a look into some of the new features in the electronic flight bag. And obviously, first thing that we are going to notice is that we've got a new tab over here, which is the flight plan tab. So let's start over there, and that is our famous SIMBRIEF import. You've got a login button over there where you enter your SIMBRIEF details, and then you can import the OFP. Here we go. And this is the data that we are going to get. So, set flight plan obviously brings it into the FMC. Set fuel, set payload can be used to uplift your fuel and payload into the aircraft. Also do note we've got this little added button, set or load aircraft and set takeoff trim over here now, which is new as well. So that's the new stuff. So let's go ahead and we are going to take just about the ram fuel from the OFP, and we'll set the payload from there as well. And with that, our aircraft is fully loaded. Also pretty cool that over here we've got our META and our TAP for our departure airport, and the same we can obviously get for our destination airport. So London City, as you can see, got good weather, runway 27 in use, so it's going to be straight in approach. Okay, so that's pretty much that stuff. Everything is loaded up, so we can quickly go through the other new stuff that we have over here. Now, it might be new to me, but I do believe that setting a landing flap is something that we didn't have previously. But anyway, there is some new stuff in the options as well. And that's the EFB brightness and the display font scale that you can change, which can be quite handy if you know what I mean. Especially the EFB brightness at night. The thing used to be super bright, so this is quite better. Okay then, cool. Let's see if we've got all the data that we need in order to set up our FMC, which is kind of what I would hope for from an import function. But before we start that, let's quickly go over the pre-flight, do the most important stuff over here. You guys bear with me, it's been a little while since I last flew the ATR, so if I am doing anything wrong over here, then you're welcome to point it out. But for me, obviously, at this moment, the Airbus is a little bit more interesting to call it that way. Okay, do note, the propeller brake ready light isn't illuminating here, which is part of the new features. So that's been fixed with this version. For some reason I still can't get the CBR test to work, but that's probably just my ignorance and not something wrong with the airplane. Okay, the lights are all working, very good. Okay, careful with that fire lever. I pulled it accidentally a couple of times, and that ruined my flight every single time, so just gotta be a little careful with that. Okay then, clear those warnings. Then we can do the test over here. Okay, perfect. That is what we wanted to check. So, let's get on with the FMC. You guys know that I'm normally not the kind of guy to do all those SIMBRIEF import stuff, but today we obviously have to do it. So, let's take it easy. Set flight plan. And here we go. Here's our flight plan. Now, a couple more things for us to check. And I'm just about going to go through it, just to be sure of what they actually said and what not. So, let's start from the data page, and then we go into init. So, flight plan, init, route. We've got Kagit, Summum. That seems to be missing a couple of waypoints over here. It is missing a couple of waypoints over here. Okay, well, in that case, let's have a very quick look into a SIMBRIEF flight plan, just to be sure that I'm not, just to be sure that I am not talking any nonsense over here. But if we have a look into Sim Toolkit and look at this, then we can see that in our navlog we have Nikki VOR, Halen, Costa, Kagit, Saski, Inlot, Summum, Logan, Jacko. So that's pretty much the routing that we are supposed to have, compared with what we actually have, and we only got Kagit and Summum over here, so obviously that flight plan import is not working. Very good. Very good. Okay, you know what, we're gonna start over and enter the thing manually. Actually, let's see if it works that way. If we just go the company route, here we go. That's what we're supposed to see. So, yep. If I need to take a guess, it's only importing the waypoints at which the airways end, because our route, looking into the flight plan, would actually be Nikki, Lima 179 Kagit, Lima 608 Summum. So, Kagit and Summum it had, the airways apparently not. That's what I would kind of estimate what's happened here. Well, so there is some more work needed to be done on that feature. Lovely. So be a little bit careful when you are importing your SIMBRIEF flight plans. they may or they may not work. Well, probably rather not than... Anyway, let's go ahead and get that stuff done. No, we don't want the secondary flight plan, thank you. Okay, Nikki for Echo departure is in already. Then let's go over to the weights and see if anything improved on those. So, performance in it. Cruising flight level is going to be 180. Our alternate is going to be Echo Golf Lima Foxtrot, and we're going to cruise at flight level 100 on the way over there. Okay, weights, we're simply going to synchronize those. Here we go. Reserve fuel, we can take it from up here, 827. Then, performance data, transition altitude, 5,000 in Belgium, if I'm not mistaken. But we'll check the charts in a few moments anyway, when we're going to do the rest of our setup. Okay, so that much about the SIMBRIEF import. Well, I wonder who beta tested this. Probably not somebody who actually knew his stuff. Anyway, let's go ahead with the remainder of our setup. For the communications, we need 122.8 in number 1 and 121.5 active in number 2. As we're flying this on VATSIM, even though I kinda don't expect anybody to actually be online. Okay, that's our overlays, and finally the transponder, we can use the default IFR Squawker 2000. Okay, that's all in. Then, QNH, let's see what we have there. 1018. And here we go, that's set, and set on both sides. Okay, first cleared altitude, I believe it'll be 5,000, but... we'll see about it. So, heading, nav, ES, that should be it. Okay. Speed can go automatic, and oxygen. And we can test that. Okay, that should obviously have given us a continuous flow here in the 100% version, but well, we'll accept it the way it is. It could be much worse. Okay, cool. So, that is our setup complete. Let's go ahead and do the final cockpit preparation checklist. So, park and brake is engaged. Altimeters 1018 set and checked. Landing elevation check. FMS com nav set. Fuel quantity, fuel on board. Okay, that is 1,520, and that's actually what we have over there. Okay, engine fuel used. Reset, memo panel checked, power management, takeoff. And that's the final cockpit preparation checklist complete. Okay then, let's see. In order to start up our engine into HOTAS mode, we obviously got to have some hydraulic power, so... press the auxiliary pump, and now we actually got the propeller brake ready. Still got the click spot issue though, so gonna move over here. Okay, that looks much better to me. Cool, wing light on, that indicates to the ground crew that we're about to start the engine, and then we can quickly go ahead and close up the doors in order to get ready for our flight. So, aircraft, we'll keep the ground power obviously. The trucks can go, main door can go, cargo door can go, and that should be mostly it. Okay, very quick cross-check here of our data in the FMC to be sure that we are actually fully set up. So let's have a very quick look into our charts, and I'm using Navigraph charts, which Navigraph were so kind to sponsor. So, just to keep that in mind. And we are departing Romeo 11, and the routing is climb straight ahead to 1500, turn right, intercept Nikki radial 098 inbound to the VOR. And that is what it looks like. So looking into the FMC, we got straight ahead 1500, then on 278 inbound to November India Kilo. And if we check that on the nav display. That's what it looks like, and, well, that looks quite alright. Well, it looks a little bit strange here for the turn, I have to say. But, it probably tries to intercept that radial 098 somehow. Looks funny, though. And if we're on it already, let's quickly go ahead and tune the conventional backup of that. 117.4 active in both radios. Okay, cool. So that's pretty much it. Setup is done. We talked about the departure. Transition altitude 4,500. I can quickly put that in. I put something different before. Okay, 4,500 is in. Initial climb clearance is not mentioned on the chart, so that's going to be by ATC. Okay, cool. So we can put the charts away. CDLS shows us the doors are still open. Yep. Thank you. And thank you. Alright, and with that we're pretty much ready to go. Got a couple cautions flashing there, let's get rid of those. Okay, cool. Then let's go ahead, start engine number 2 in the auto mode. Let's see, the wing light is on, perfect, so starting number 2. %. Condition lever into feather. And that looks like a good start on number 2. So, disconnect the ground power unit. Thank you very much. And like that, we should be ready to go for the rest of our setup. So, very quickly confirm the takeoff data over here. That's going to give us a trim of 1.5 units upwards. Which, for some reason, it doesn't want to check. Okay, stand by 1 second. Okay, trim 1.5 units, here we go. Then let's go ahead and do the rest of the procedure before we go. So, beacon light on, seatbelts are on. Okay, before propeller rotation checklist, CDLS on, FMS and takeoff data, confirmed, trims on 3 axes, set, tail prop on board, doors closed, seatbelts on, beacon on, before propeller rotation checklist complete. Okay, so we're good to go. Turning the right engine. Why is the propeller brake still engaged? Do we need some more hydraulic pressure here? Did they once again change something without putting it into the manuals? Okay, here we go. Or not? Yeah, here we go. Now it's turning. Okay. Yeah, so we needed some more hydraulic pressure before we could actuate the brake. That is definitely new in the current version. Okay, here we go. Turning the propeller. So, those can go on. Any skid test. And finally, the flaps to 50. Okay, cool. Then let's go ahead and start engine number 1. Okay, that is a good start on engine number 1. Yep, happy with that. I believe we gotta turn on the TRU now, but I might be mistaken about that, so my apologies. The TRU is something that always catches me, but a couple of you have correctly caught on it in the comments below the video, so I certainly hope that I did this stuff correctly now. Okay, so let's quickly do a recall. Then, before taxi checklist. Flight warning system recalled, cockpit comm hatch. Closed, condition lever 1 and 2. Auto, anti-icing, off, TRU. Okay, is on and checked. Anti-skid test performed. Flaps 15. Nose wheel steering. On. Before taxi checklist, complete. Okay, bring up the taxi display, please, and then we can go. So, taxi pretty much straight out over there towards the runway. Taxi light on. Brakes off. Rolls all by itself, and we are gonna ignore those pieces of ground equipment to the next of us here. Okay, clear right side, clear left side. I'm keeping my power levers all in idle at the moment. So the airplane taxis all by itself in idle power. Okay. Flight control track. Full up. Full down, full left, full right, neutral, and the rudder, well, we saw it working. Okay then, taxi checklist. Taxi and takeoff light. On, brakes, checked, flight guidance panel FMA, set and checked, and takeoff config test. Okay, let's do the left turn first. Okay, better. So, takeoff config test. Config test, okay. And that's our taxi checklist complete. Okay, let's hold short of the runway for a moment, quickly review the most important part of our takeoff briefing. So, let's already bring up the checklist. Okay, takeoff briefing. Left seat takeoff, runway 11, flaps 15, noise abatement procedure number 2. The takeoff speeds. Oops, here they are. 105. Wait a moment. What is that? Default speeds V1 105, VR 104? That's impossible. VR must never be less than V1. Oh boy, it's calculating the same thing here. Good job, so we've got another bug there. Well, I should probably have noticed earlier, but in that case, let's just go ahead and increase the VR by 1 knot. Okay, here we go. Shows me manual set now, but it's set and confirmed. Okay, cool, but that was definitely necessary. Okay, so that's that. The SID takes us straight at 1500 feet, then a right turn, radial 098 in Martinique VOR. Initial climb to altitude 5000, which is correctly set now. Okay, threats for the departure, well, it's been a little while since I flew the ATR last, so might be a little bit rusty on my procedures over here. But overall, it wasn't that much of a difficult airplane. Engine failure case, if we have to, we go straight at 25 miles, climbing to about the MSA, which in case of our departure looking into the chart is 2,200 feet, and this keeps us well into this sector, so 3,000 feet in case of engine failure on the runway heading. Any questions from the departure briefing? No, okay. Before takeoff checklist to the line. The line is new, by the way, with this update. Takeoff briefing. Performed, gas block off, flight controls checked, transponder TCAS checked, boost function off, airflow Normal before takeoff checklist complete. Okay then, clear on the approach, clear on the right. Antwerp traffic, Foxtrot Whiskey Whiskey Lima Hotel, line up and takeoff from a 1-1. Okay, let's go. Transponder on. Cabin crew, seats for departure please. Okay, cabin crew advised, engine bleed, on external lights. Oopsie. I knew there was something I missed. So, external lights on, and holding at the rest of the items here. Okay, well, interesting route line over here, but we'll get it up into the air and then see what ATC, or rather what the airplane is going to do with that. Okay, so rest of the checklist, lateral flight director bar, centered, rudder cam, centered, before takeoff checklist complete. Okay, ready? Timing. That power. It's overboosting there, but I definitely got them in the climb deterrent. Not sure why it's doing that. Power set. We'll just take it from here. Ooh, it's rotating by itself once again. Nice. That was fixed in the previous version. Obviously not in this one. At least the takeoff power is set now. I wonder how they messed that up once again. Did they use an old flight model for the VIP version of the aircraft here? I wouldn't be surprised at all. Let's put the autopilot on. I want to see where it's going to fly itself. And then we can also go to MCT. Sorry, climb much rather. Okay, positive trim vector, flaps up. Well, that definitely looks interesting on the nav display over there. Okay, after takeoff checklist down to the line. Landing gear up, flaps 0, power management NP. Climb checked, engine bleed, on, taxi and takeoff light, off, after takeoff checklist complete down to the line. So let's see if and how it is going to intercept the radio 098. That is 278 on the course, which it should aim for. But that already looks wrong here, bearing 271. That should read 278. Okay, well, let's go ahead, continue our climb, and then we'll see how the airplane is going to behave. Okay, that's 18,000 blue. Set standard. Standard. Cross-checked, passing flight level 48 now. Checked. Okay, it looks to me like it's trying to intercept the radio, but no, not really. It is overshooting to the right-hand side there. But look at that, it seems to try to intercept bearing 266. It should be on 278. So that is not quite correct there. What is new, however, is we got the level of arrow. That didn't used to exist previously. Now, if you're wondering why that does not equal the top of climb over there, That's quite easy. That is because this is based on your current vertical speed, and this is based on what the airplane estimates. Keep in mind you're going to lose some vertical speed as you climb along. Okay, well, that is certainly not the correct bearing that we're intercepting here. If we look into the flight plan, we can see it's got 278 in there, so theoretically it should know what it should try to intercept, but it just doesn't do it, it seems. Which is, of course, also a way to do things. So, let's complete the after takeoff checklist. Altimeters. Set unchecked. After takeoff checklist complete. We gotta see the positive side of things though. Look at how well the ATR 42 is actually climbing with a payload like this. Neat little airplane, isn't it? Okay, let's bring it past flight level 100 and then we are going to have a very quick look into the cabin and see what that looks like. In the meantime, I want the elapsed timer up here, and the same is up over there already. Very good. Weather radar, as there's still a lot of talk about that, is still the Asobo top-down version, so we're supposed to have some weather on pretty much our 11 o'clock, 40 miles out. Well, look out there, and see how there is just nothing. So, I got no clue what that weather radar is showing, but this is certainly incorrect. Okay, passing 10,000. Probably switch the TRU off at this moment. Well, we should probably have switched it off a lot earlier, to be honest. Okay. Fan's going off. But I will turn on a couple of lights, because with the clouds that bright, it's a little bit hard to see things occasionally. That's looking good to me now. Okay then. So, let's quickly do that turn, and then we'll go to the back and inspect our brand new cabin a bit. And here we go. So, the plane can certainly climb itself nicely. I have no doubt it can. So let's use the time while we have it. Okay, you have control, my friend. And this is what the new VIP cabin actually looks like. Oh, and I'm stuck. Can't move. Now I can. Okay, let's just take a random seat over here and see if there is anything we can do. So, getting close up, textures aren't that crisp, but if you look at it from a little bit of a decent distance like this, it's certainly alright. Got our VIP tables over here. Can we fold that out somehow? No, not really, unfortunately. However, see the positive things up here. Look at how much legroom you have. That alone is worth taking this airplane. However, I don't like these seats. I'm always afraid of those propeller blades coming loose. Even though, looking from the outside, you can see how the airframe is actually strengthened over here, being the propellers. Just to protect the people inside a little bit better. But there are so many stories of where propellers came loose. I don't like the seats directly abeam them. Let's move a little bit further. This is probably much better. Yep, it is. No, that is definitely a seat I would fly in. Even though I would be a little bit concerned about that little hole we got up here. But well, Microsoft can hopefully solve that out somehow. So what else do we have? Let's see if there is any differences to the aft galley of the airplane. There are fire extinguishers visible down here. Normally they are hidden below passenger seats in order not to, well, let's say in order not to confuse anybody. And that's our doors. That's... I do believe that the texture of the jump seat here is new, the upper one. just to unify the looks with the VIP cabin a little bit. Apart from that though, I don't really see too much differences. However, I need to say, pretty nice cabin. I would absolutely fly in this. Even though it is an ATR. I would fly in this, yeah. Yeah, let's get that closed, and let's go back to where we earn our money. And here we are. Okay, passing flight level 151, we're currently flight level 180. Looking outside, plenty of distance to the clouds there. If the clouds were any closer, I would choose a little bit lower flight level, just in order to stay out of the turbulence that's usually included when you go through some clouds. And that's pretty much that part. So, next up we're gonna have a look into our arrival into London City. They got some pretty interesting altitude restrictions there. You can already see our top of descent coming up in just about 60 miles from here, and even though the total distance of the flight is 180 nautical miles, we're gonna descend really early, and that means we're gonna fly over London really low, which is part of the procedure design there. Obviously they're trying to keep all the traffic from London City away from the traffic going into Stansted, Luton, Heathrow and Gatwick. Quick check I want to do. We just passed over at Halen, and initially the top of climb was some 10 miles beyond Halen. But looking at this, it actually seems quite spot on now. You can also see how, since we are close to our top of descent, now the level of arrow is kind of in line with the top of climb arrow. Did I call it top of descent earlier? If I did, my apologies. It's obviously a top of climb. Okay. Weather radar, give it a bit of down tilt. Is that doing anything? Obviously not. It's an Asobo radar after all. Okay, we've got 1000 to go. Let's see how the level off is gonna look like. And once we're up in level flight, we can then start getting out some of the charts for our arrival and planning our approach into London City. Vertical speed slightly greater than 1000, but that's acceptable to me. Now we're at 1000. And then let's see, we got a couple things that went down the right way, we got a couple things that went down the wrong way. Let's see how the level off is gonna look like. Alt star. Let's see if it is once again going to level off above or below the target. I mean, it certainly feels like there have been a few steps forward, but also a few steps backwards with this update, so let's see what things are gonna look like. Alt. Well, that's alright. Couple of feet deviation, but it's still climbing at 100 feet a minute over here. I have a feeling it's gonna intercept accurately. Yep. 20 feet, absolutely acceptable. Let's see what the other side looks like. Same. Standby. Same. Okay. That is certainly fine for me. Okay. Cruise power. I'm setting it right now. Interestingly enough, you can see how the torque is actually increasing with cruise power. Compared to previously, it was a little bit less in climb. I wonder if that is accurate, but that's probably something you gotta ask Magna. He knows a lot more about this airplane than I do. Okay then. Well, let's go ahead and start preparing for our arrival into London City. And once again, using Navigraph charts over here, we'll fly the Simum 1 Charlie arrival, which takes us from Simum to Logan, max 250 knots. We aren't gonna go much faster with this airplane anyway. And then over to Jacko at flight level 90. And that's pretty much what I meant earlier when I said that the arrivals in the city take you really, really low. Like, if you look at the ring for the MSA over London City Airport, that's 25 miles. So this is roughly 50 miles out from the airport, and you're going to be at flight level 90. So that's really, really low. Let's quickly make sure that we get the rest of our charts as well. So for the approach, we are going to fly the ILS runway 27. We obviously might need some minimums as well. Actually, no, we don't. Where's the difference here? Okay, just some more missed approach climb gradients. Not so relevant for us. Okay, the one thing that I am missing right now is the transition here from Jacko. Let's quickly go over the rest of the stuff that we actually have. Just going over some charts to try and find where that transition is located. To be honest, I don't really like how the British have all those transition charts. Here we go. That's probably what we're looking for. Yeah, coming from Jacko over that lovely Arnav. Oh yeah. So, Otlek is for the other side. We are looking for this one. Okay, perfect. Then obviously we need some taxi chart as well, and that includes the parking. Alright, cool. Now that we got all our charts together, let's have a quick look into the FMC to see what that looks like. So, starting at Summum, here it is. Why is it in there twice? That shouldn't be the case. How can I clear that? Well, can I clear it at all? This is the right way of doing it, isn't it? Like, taking the clear button and then... Oh. Okay. Well, then we got someone twice. Let's see how the airplane is going to handle that. If we can't resequence anything over there. Okay, well, let's go on with the arrival. We'll fly from Summum towards Logan. Well, 240 is target speed over here. I'm fine with that. It's maximum 250 after all on the chart. Then towards Jacko, max 210 knots and at 9,000. We got the 9,000. We got a speed constraint 210. I wonder why it's not showing us that on the flight plan page. But well, fine for me. I have a feeling ATC is going to lift that restriction for us anyway. Okay, apart from that, we've got a little notice for the descent planning. Summum 1 Charlie, expect flight level 220 by inlet. So we've got inlet over here. How about we insert a 220 constraint? Well, no, we don't, because we're actually lower than that. Okay, I'm not used to flying this airplane anymore. Okay, well, let's continue. So towards Jacko, and then from Jacko we're gonna join the Lavno 1 Golf arrival. Sorry, Lavno... Wait a moment. And Golf is down there. So Lavno 1 Juliet. Fine for me. Okay, so Jacko, Lavno... No. Nope, 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 nope. There's some stuff missing. Here we go, via Lavno 1 Juliet. That's what we need. And no transition. Execute. Now I got a discon. See if we can clear that. Inlet, Summum, Logan. Yeah, that's right. Now we also got a single Summum. So that was probably part of the company route that messed up there. But okay, let's see what it looks like now. Now we got Jacko. Yeah, Nonva, Babku, LCE 21, LCE 22, LCE 23 at 9,000. Right on towards the rough side, 6,000. Gapki at 6,000. Adpath. With a possible holding there. Don't plan to fly that though. We've got LCE 07 at 4,000. Top 2, maximum 210 knots. Let's see, that's in here. I wonder how VNAF is going to do that. Okay, and then towards Lavno, max 185 knots at 3,000 feet. We got the 3,000 over there, and we got the 185 knots in here. Okay, from there we're going to join the ILS approach. So starting in 3,000 at 5 miles out, which is probably the Fox. No, we got another FAF over here at 3.4. That is the Fox in 2,000. And that's indeed what we have over there. 5.5 degree glide, which we have over here as well. And in case of missed approach, we are going to proceed. Climb straight ahead towards 2,000. So we got straight at 2,000. At 5 DME, ILS right, turn right to the locator at 2,000 as directed. Okay, so we got 5 miles, and then We've got the Lima Charlie Yankee at 2000, and the locator is Lima Charlie Yankee indeed. Okay, perfect. So that is correct then. Well, let's quickly go ahead and tune that as well. The frequency 322. And that is active, and we can do the same down here as well. 322, enter active. Then, for the VORs, we need 111.15. Enter active. Enter active. Do we need any other VOR? No, we don't. Okay, happy with that. So, minimums, we are going to be, Cat Bravo aircraft is going to be 600 feet over there, which is 581 above the ground, so a rather high minimum. Oh, by the way, talking about minimums, I had a comment under one of my ATR videos about a guy saying, oh, you can't be an airline pilot if you are confusing decision altitudes with MDAs. Now, my dear friends, you might be aware that DH on the minimum selector of the aircraft is the decision height, while MDA is the decision altitude. And we don't want to fly any Cat 1 approaches based on radio altimeter, so for that reason, we're entering an MDA over here. So, nicely tried, but unfortunately failed. Here we go, 600 feet, and 600 feet. Okay, and that is pretty much that. Okay, after landing, we are gonna vacate the runway to the left, probably on Delta or Echo, something like that. And then we'll go probably to the east apron, maybe to the main apron. I will really make it dependent on which part of the airport I find better looking. Okay, that's gonna be it. So that's pretty much our approach briefing completed as well. Then, you have any questions about it? No? Okay, very good. Then we can shortly start our descent already. Top of descent in less than 20 miles. I want to use a little bit of that time, however, to explore some of the features we have in the FMS, because there's stuff like this. Top of descent, 16 miles and 5 minutes. Let's see if that is actually correct. We're doing a ground speed of 300 knots, that's 5 miles a minute. And if this is 15 miles out, it should be 3 minutes, not 5. So, well. Nicely tried, but still incorrect. Come on, that mathematics isn't that hard. 16 knots, 60 knots is 1 nautical mile per minute, so calculating that shouldn't be too hard. I can do it by head. Okay, in any case, let's have another very quick look into the changelog to see if there is some stuff in there that we can check while we're still flying along. Here's a changelog. And we've got added the Highline liveries, added support for importing flight plans. Well, we talked about that. The EFB can be used for loading the aircraft. We did that. It worked very well. Added code for diffuse light and cargo hold. Okay, probably gonna have to check that at night someday. Fixed converting passenger numbers into pounds. Well, we didn't fly in pounds, so slowed down ES mode pitch change. Well, we got to play around with that a little bit on the descent, but overall, so far my impression was alright. But let's see how that's going to work in VNAV, because in VNAV it also had some rather strong pitching there, which I somewhat hope is going to be out of the product. Okay, fixed switch in lateral AFCS mode, cancelling vertical AFCS mode. Well, we got to give that a try, do we? Okay, so let's switch the lateral mode. And I'm gonna go to heading, but I'll just staying here. So let's go to nav, and let's quickly go to VOR1. Okay, it goes to heading hold, and it maintains the altitude mode. Well, obviously they're talking about vertical mode, so seeing that we're dealing with Microsoft and Asobo over here, I really wouldn't be surprised if... if that is only going to work in climber descent, but we're going to find out in a moment. Let's set the target altitude down. We're going to flight level 90 initially. Okay, set. Flight level 90 check. And VNAV armed. What is it doing now? Alt star? No VNAV. Okay, that's better. VNAV path. Okay. Well, that's a bug. That's a bug. At least it brought the descent checklist up. Well, that is some good news as well, isn't it? Okay, descent checks. Hard warning system, recall, landing elevation, auto, FMS and FM performance. Oh yeah, performance is a good point actually. So, for the approach, transition altitude in the UK is going to be 6,000, and the QNH, well, let's find that out. Flight plan, Maytown London City, 1018. Okay, looks good to me. And the wind maybe as well, 24084. Here we go. Alright, cool. And I'm overspeeding. That's the reason you normally have a pilot monitoring. Here we go, that's better. Okay, well, let's quickly play around a little bit with the pitching. Let's start in ES mode, and I just about want to play with it. So, ES. Yeah, that is a decent rate. That is alright. Let's add some thrust, see what it's gonna do. Okay, the pitching moment is actually alright. Let's go back to VNAV. Previously it pitched very strong, that would have caused quite some strong G-forces, but it's no longer doing that. That's good news. Okay then, let's complete the checklist. Descent checks, FMS, NAFM performance, set checked, DH MDA, set checked, arrival briefing performed, descent checklist complete. Alright, 80 miles to run. Obviously that means we are very, very low, but that's what it is going into London. They always have some interesting ideas coming up for you. Decals mode, we can switch to below. Alright. At least the weather is good, and not as rainy as it normally is going into London. But we gotta find some good, do we? Okay, so approach checklist is pending, that is alright. We are descending below 15,000, so let's go ahead and put the seatbelt signs on. The no device signs can stay off for a little bit. And that should be it, okay. So we're gonna fly over Logan and Jacko, and then we'll probably take our shortcut towards Rafsa. Checking out how the directs are gonna work. Oh, by the way, new as well, the target vertical speed for the VNAV seems to be working correctly now. That one was off previously, but this actually is looking correct. 1400 feet a minute is what we need, 1400 feet a minute is what we do, and the point is actually showing there as well. We've got to see the positives when they're there. It's not like everything is perfect in this plane, but they did some good progress as well. It's not just breaking the VNAV. Sorry, it's not just breaking the, it's not just breaking the SIMBRIEF import. Let's see if there's a little bit other stuff that we can check on. We've got fixed propeller NP remains at 100%. Yep, that's fixed. Then fixed flight director pitch indication inverted. Well, never saw that recently. Added bearing pointer smoothing and added nav-8 variance based on signal strength. Okay, well that is something I want to play with. Okay, so we need a chart like this. Okay, ILS chart. We got a London VOR 13.6, and then we got the LCY locator. Let's play with that. Let's see if we can experience any of this. So London VOR 113.6. Put that active. Here we go. And obviously that's a steady indication. 80 miles out, that is expected. It's a VOR after all. Oh, and as I just see it, the level of arrow for the descent is new as well, just like for the climb. I'm gonna keep the speed up high, I'm not gonna reduce it quite yet, but worth noting, the VNAV speed target has actually reduced as it should. And passing level 100. And lights on, no devices on. Yeah, let's take a quick direct towards Rafsa before we continue playing. Not much traffic in the area, so let's go. The Rafsa is going to be at 6,000. Good. 6,000 checked. Set altimeter 1018. Set left. Looks like the right side is still bugged. Let's quickly go over there, see if we can. Nope, the right side is still stuck in standard. That's a bug from the first version. Lovely. Okay. Well, so we've got to fly on the left side and the standby only in terms of altitude, but that's fine for me. Okay, so set QNH 1018, passing 9,320 now. Well, checked. As good as we can. What's nice to see though is that VNAV immediately adapted for a constant path descent towards 6,000 from our present altitude, so there is some good in this, I guess. Okay then, what else do we have? We wanted to check on the ADF. Okay, so let's try that bearing pointer. Give me number 1 onto the ADF. Do we receive anything? No. If the airport is like 50 miles out, yeah, might be correct that we don't receive the locator yet. That could very possibly happen. But let's see. I'm gonna keep the ADF active. So let's see if we're gonna get any. Let's see if we're gonna get any loose signal, to call it like that. I'll probably leave the ADF on anyway, since we might need it for the missed approach. Okay, so let's go ahead with the approach checklist. Seatbelts on, landing lights on, altimeters set and checked, cabin altitude, nicely coming down, checked, approach checklist complete. Right, let's see when the NDV is going to come in range, and then we'll see if that is going to give us any nice signals there. Okay, what else is new? Added smoothing to the PFD CDI indication. We're gonna have a look at that as we start our turning, so this should be a bit smoother as we start our turn. It can turn along, but you know the needles shouldn't be going left and right all the time. But we're gonna check on that later on. So, going a little bit further in the changelog, fixed boot can be activated on ground at power levers over flight idle. Fixes to checklist automation. Yeah, seems to work well, at the moment at least. Added end of climb and descent symbol on the ND. Yep, that's here indeed, and here it is. And fixed batteries charging when charger is switched off. Fixed electrical system starting up after MFC 1B 2B test instead of 1A 2A. Fixed service door test using main door status. Oh, nice. A fixed generation in hydraulic state of loading aircraft. New waypoint on lateral revision page inserted. Waypoint at wrong position. Okay. You know what? Let's play with that. Let's see. Let's go to cock. After GAG-P. Seems correct. Clear that. And it's not even freezing up. I am amazed. We've got 1,000 to go. Come on, airplane, you're not overspeeding yet. Back in a VNAV. Okay, what else is new? Fixed go-around pitch command. Well, I'm tempted, but I want to fly this to a landing. Added VORs and NDBs to manual flight plan entries. We just did that. Added VORs and NDBs to direct to ident function. Let's play with that as well. Let's go direct to, and I want to go to Dick. Yeah, that looks about right. Even though I wonder why we aren't flying there. Let's try that again. Dick. Let me guess, it doesn't want to fly me there because it's not in our flight plan? Oh boy. Okay, I'll start. And here is our CDI changing as we make the turn. And that actually looks pretty smooth. I'm happy with that. Alt. Okay, that actually looks alright. Nothing to complain about. Very good. So, entering the River Thames. My apologies to my London friends, I know you pronounce it a bit different. I don't think I've ever flown over this area this low in real life. Going into Stansted, we kind of flew here in like level 120 or so, but this is a whole different story, is it? I'm really enjoying those views. I'm really enjoying them. Okay then, passing over at GAG-P, that means we gotta descend altitude 4,000. I want to play with this a little bit. Let's not use VNAV for this, but let's go vertical speed. And then let's see how that level of arrow is gonna behave. There we go, now we reach it directly over the airport. Increase that a little, let's do 1,500. Okay, that is... yeah, here we go, that's better. And it jumped around a little bit. Let's try that again, let's do 800. Look at... yeah, here we go. So it seems like it's calculating a little bit. Let's try that again, let's do 500 feet a minute. So now look at the behavior of the arrow. It's kind of waiting until we are stable at the vertical speed, and only then it's actually changing around. But okay, that's fine with me. At least it doesn't give you nonsense indications, but it actually gives you some usable indications. Okay, cool. Then let's go back to VNAV. We've got VNAV path captured over there. I've reduced my speed slightly already because I know that eventually the glide slope is only going to come into view very late on this arrival. And I don't want to intercept the glide slope at like too much of a speed, because I know that we will not be able to reduce it. A manual speed target here, and bring it down to something like 200 already. Okay, we start receiving the ILS, 20 miles out. And if we're receiving the ILS, let's go... Here we go. We're actually getting the localizer signal, but I think I'm going to fly it a little bit closer using nav, using LNAV. And once we're closer up, I will switch it over into localizer mode. 200 knots looks good to me. That way we are not coming in too fast. Okay, let's see. The lights are on. Yeah, frequencies. We've got... Oh, now I know why. We got that offset CDI. We were still on a London VOR. That's better though. Okay, going on to 3,000. That vertical speed, give me 500 feet a minute. And that looks about perfect. Okay, so frequencies, 111.1. Don't have any rings. Items are... Do we actually get our items anywhere? I don't think we do. No, we don't. Okay. So stand instruments are set and the courses are adjusted. Okay. So localizer capture. And we've got a glide slope indication up there. Okay, reduces. No, let's keep the speed. Sorry, I was a little bit too fast there. Activate the approach speed. Alright, so that is London coming up right over there. The simulator is just looking awesome, isn't it? The graphics are really unmatchable. What's interesting, however... Okay, that was just... Look, from this perspective, it looked like the elevator was deflected downwards, but... No, it isn't. That's just that little cutout over here so that the rudder can move. Okay, back to the cockpit. Things are gonna get interesting very soon. Okay, let's go back to automatic speed and start reducing it. We're now 10 miles out. Alt star. So 185 knots over at Lavno is maximum. Okay, we're below 185. As soon as the glide slope comes alive, we're gonna start configuring. I want to be fully configured by the time we catch the glide slope. Okay, approach armed. So missed approach in case we have to, straight at 2000, right turn to the locator. Okay, landing checklist is up already, that's good. Okay, now things are gonna get a lot more interesting. Going to intercept the glide slope out of 3000, not out of 2000 here. There's our runway. Okay, glide slope alive, flaps 15. Gear down. Taker power selected, glide slope capture, flaps full. Okay, landing checklist. Cabin crew advised, landing gear, down 3 green, flaps. Oh, look at that. Tells me selected 0, but they're definitely out. Interesting, okay, well. Flap set, power management, takeoff, TRU low speed. Checked, icing area light off, external lights on, before landing checklist complete. Okay. Look at that. That's quite an angle, isn't it? Alright then, back into the cockpit. Time to do some flying. Oh, landing checklist is complete. So I've got my power levers in idle. Interestingly enough, they are in ground idle, it seems, not in flight idle, but, well. Speed is coming back, slowly and steadily. Should be stable at 1,000 feet. It's my first time landing in London City since a year or so. So let's see how well I'm going to handle that flare. I wouldn't be surprised if we're doing a total impact here. But we'll see. We'll see. Approaching minimum. Oh, it's doing the call out. Perfect.
Minimum.
Continue.
Minimum. 500.
Okay, autopilot off. I accidentally re-engaged it. Now it's off. Okay, let's keep on the glide. Here we go, looking good. Well, right into the touchdown zone. Oh, those reverses are more effective than I thought. Okay, well, we are down. We made it. Even though, don't stop. Come on, get me taxi. Oh, I want a taxi. Oh. Oopsie. That was the emergency brake still selected. Yeah, I put that lever into that position in flight so that I could see the clear key. Well, now now at least you know how much landing run such an ATR needs, and that is certainly not a lot. Okay, we're gonna vacate to the left over here, and then we'll park somewhere in front of the building. At least our guests now know that we've made it to London. And we now know which of those guests didn't bother putting their seatbelts on. Okay, well, let's just about take it over the airport, taxi to the other side. And once we're fully clear the runway, I am going to run the after landing procedures. I'm gonna stop it here for a second. Oh. Flaps are going up, gas clock going in, radar off, transponder, alt off, lights, and repeat. Okay, after landing checklist, radar, standby, flight controls, lock, flaps, 0, trims, yeah, very set. And strobe light off, anti-de-icing off, probe heating off, TRU off, after landing checks complete, and after 2 minutes we can feather the remaining engine. Okay, I just want to taxi to the other side, see what it looks like over there, of course. This is not the most appealing area to park an airplane, I suppose. It certainly doesn't look like it. Okay, that's a terminal. That looks at least a little bit more appealing. Okay, let's take the next one. Here we go, number 5 looks good to me. Now comes the fun on the self-maneuvering stance to actually park the aircraft. Gotta go ahead to other, which is the middle. And off we go. We'll rudder to the right, a little bit of left engine. Okay, probably not the best parking quite yet, but this gotta do. Okay, cool. Gonna keep engine 1 running. I'll shut down number 2. And at that time they can connect the external power as soon as the right engine has stopped. Okay, right engine is stopped. We don't need the propeller brake. All we need is the ground power unit, like this. Thank you. And here we go. GPU connected. Shutdown number 1. And the left side should be stopped in a second. Here we go. Left side stopped. Okay, parking checklist. Park and brake, engage, taxi takeoff lights off, condition lever number 2, feather, beacon, off, transponder standby, tail prop. Yeah, we've got to give that out, do we? Hey, where's my tail prop option? We probably don't have one in the ATR 42. Why is it in the checklist then? Okay, tail prop not required, seatbelts off. And that's our parking checklist complete. Alright guys. So, thank you very much for joining along in our brand new ATR 42. Certainly a fun little airplane to fly. Now, what do I think about the progress that it made? Well, there's a couple steps forward and also a couple steps backwards as we've seen. The SIMBRIEF import doesn't seem to import airways at the moment, which is, well, kinda a killer for that feature, if I'm totally honest with you. That should absolutely be possible for the airplane to do. Apart from that, however, the airplane mostly flew fine. Few little things every now and there. And, well, my landing, I told you it's gonna be positive. However, I didn't break the airplane, that's probably the most important thing there. Apart from that, the update is for free. The new Highline model that's just been added is looking really good, so that's going to be a lot of fun to fly for those business jet lovers among you. It's not exactly jet, but then again, it only takes a little bit longer to fly anyway. In any case, I hope you liked this one. If you did, do let me know in the comments below. Thank you very much for watching. I'm looking forward to see you all again, hopefully very soon. And do leave a like, comment and subscribe, as it does really help out the channel. And if you really like what I'm doing, I would appreciate a small donation through the Buy Me Coffee link that you can find in the video description below, or to see you as a channel member. In any case, thank you very much for watching, and I'm looking forward to see you all again, hopefully very soon.